Uh, yeah, so the economist is saying the increase in the minimum wage in country X will quickly lead to a decrease in country X's rate of unemployment. Raising the minimum wage will lead to more disposable income for a large segment of the working population. Much of this increased income will be spent on consumer goods, and surely this increase in demand for consumer goods will lead to an increase in the number of factory jobs necessary to meet production. Then it's asking, each of the following, if true, would weaken the economist's argument except
All right, so
blank.
what is our conclusion here?
Our conclusion here is, I believe, surely this increase in demand for consumer goods will increase the number of factory jobs.
Yes. So if we increase, sorry, I have to read this again for myself. The increase in the minimum wage will quickly lead to a decrease in unemployment. Raising the minimum wage will lead to more disposable income, which is going to, okay, cool. So whenever I have an accept question, I highlight it and I actually write down on my piece of paper A, B, C, D, and E. And if it so this one is like weaken it. So if it weakens it, I put like on A, like I literally write it down and I write a W by it so that I don't forget halfway through what I'm doing. Because I feel like I get to D and I'm like, oh yeah, this weakens it. And then I pick it and I move on and I'm like, crap, this is an accept question.
Okay, yeah.
That's just a small trick that I do because it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do though is I look for, if it weakens it, I cross it off. I don't
Okay.
try to find the one. I don't try to find the correct answer here. I try to find the 4 wrong answers because then
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about one thing the whole time. So let's go ahead and start with A.
Okay, so A, the cost of minimum wage. The cost of a minimum wage increase in country X will be passed on to consumers in the form of significantly higher prices for consumer goods. This weakens it
Yes, because it's
pretty
saying like,
clearly.
yeah, like instead, yeah, while you're getting paid more, like this your ratio of what you can afford is still the same. So
Yeah. For B, most of the consumer goods sold in country X are produced outside of the country. This is also weakening it because the factory jobs wouldn't be created because they're not in country
yeah, it's
X.
like we're not even buying those here. We're like, so it's
Yeah.
cool.
C, in many factories in country X, most of the workers are paid much more than the current minimum wage. I don't think that weakens it.
I would leave this one. I think it could weaken
Yeah.
it because it's saying that the minimum wage isn't going to make much of an impact. Like, what if like only 1% of people are making minimum wage, and it's like there's not going to be that much of a difference.
Yeah, I would leave this one
You can leave this one, but
because
I
yeah.
could see this one weakening it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just don't think it's as strong of a
Okay.
weakening point as the other ones yet. Um, the cost of to employers of an increase in the minimum wage in country X will be made up by reductions in the workforce. That is, I think, a weaken as well because it's saying that the
Yeah,
number of factory jobs won't go
yeah.
up.
Now we're just going to put more work on less people. Sorry, Laura.
Yeah. And then E, most factories that produce consumer goods in country X have large surpluses of goods as a result of years of overproduction. I think the implication there is that the jobs won't go up to meet demands because demands were already exceeded and they're going to have to work through back supply. I don't care for that one either.
Most factories that produce consumer goods in country X have large surpluses of goods as a result of years of overproduction. Okay, sorry, amazing. This increase in demand. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back on what I said. I would probably choose C on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is why it's a level 5 question. And while I think C could weaken it, most is only 51%. So that means that there could be 49% of people that make minimum wage. And that could be enough. 49% of the population could absolutely be enough to move the needle, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And the other thing is, I went back, and so when this happens, I'm debating between two. I realigned myself with truth, and I just went and read the stimulus, and I said, and it says, surely this increase in demand for consumer goods is what's going to increase it. And so whenever we picked up on these having these large surplus, like you said, there's not going to be this increased demand if we have all this leftover product. So when I'm going to like what one is more specific to my stimulus, I would cross off E and go with C.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can kind of see my thought process there. And this is definitely why it's a harder question.
Yeah, for sure.
And now let's